So we've got a 15 Pro Max. We got a charging port issue. This particular device has a panic log issue, which I've narrowed down to the charging port. Basically, it's rebooting every 3 minutes. Bunch of panic logs. If you can see right here, it says 0x300,000. That is a charging port issue. Now my screen is already off, but I'm gonna link a video up here which basically goes over everything you need to do to not damage your screen during removal. I'll sort of sum up some of those steps, which is if you can heat it up with a hairdryer or a heat gun to soften the adhesive, and then use a combination of either a suction cup tool, a curved opening tool. You don't want it too narrow or else you're putting too much pressure in any one particular area. And then ideally 91 or 99% isopropyl alcohol. So once again, watch this video. And then come and pull this plate off, which apparently that was out as well. And before we go disconnecting the screen, we want to pop our battery off. Lift up on your screen flex. Take our screen and set it aside. We are going to have to get past our battery, so it helps to have an extra battery adhesive on hand. If you need any parts, I'm going to start selling, and by the time this video is dropped, I should have a store with like housings, water-resistant gaskets, the genuine Apple gaskets. I'm probably going to start selling ports because a lot of the aftermarket ones are crap, and you viewers have asked me where, so I'll probably just start selling them. But yeah, we're going to get past the battery first. In order to do that, we need to remove our Taptic engine and loudspeaker just so we have a better angle to pull out our adhesive tabs. We're going to start with 4 screws for the loudspeaker. You can sort of just nudge up, and then you will get some resistance, but it's just this little, I don't know, piece of tape Apple puts on. After that, we have a couple of screws for our Taptic engine. And we also have a standoff, so they sort of do this in layers, but there's a Phillips here, a tri-wing, another Phillips, and then underneath this Phillips is a standoff. That little bracket.
So, first of all, if you've got this far and you think, hell no, I do mailings. Second, I also buy iPhones. Working, broken, whatever. Even if it looks like this, I'm still interested. Link in the description. Let's make a deal.
And our standoff is right here. Now, if yours isn't, you can sort of just lift up ever so slightly, and then our Taptic engine comes out. We now have access to our battery tabs. If you want to, you can sort of soften up the adhesive, but just like our screen, 99% or 91% alcohol is going to come in handy. Just a few drops. As you see, I sort of have a rocking motion. Next, we're going to take our spudger. We can take some more alcohol. If you can sort of wiggle back and forth, and it comes out pretty easily. As you can sort of see right here, these are the main two. This one is sort of an afterthought. If you lose this little gasket for the speaker, it's not the end of the world. You can do this now, you can do this after, but I'm just gonna put on my battery adhesive. You do, if you can, want to, but you want it to look something like this. This should be just peeking out. You're also welcome to use double-sided tape. I don't for paying customers. We can take our battery and set it aside. Now begins the long, arduous process of removing all the screws for our charging port. In no particular order, there's a standoff, and then there's a Phillips on the side, and then another one right here. And I will mention pretty much all of these and their locations when I get to the reassembly portion. And we have 2 more Phillips right here. We then have another one on the side right here. Lovely. And then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 more. And these are all different sizes, so try not to lose them. Now this plate, you want to sort of nudge to the right and then lift up, because there's a little sort of hook right here that you need to get past. And if you get some resistance, it's just the double-sided tape, or it's this like foam stuff, which is on the back side of that. Don't worry about it. We then have 1, 2, 3 standoffs, and there's, I believe, another one under here. We can disconnect our charging port. We have another flex here we'll get to in a sec. But you need to take this and sort of fold that out of the way a little bit so we can get to a Phillips and a standoff. All right, last but not least, we have 2 more Phillips right here, which we might need to bend. I guess we need to bend these out of the way. Those are for the back glass. And that is all of our screws. Disconnect our flex right here. I lied. Yeah, there's enough flex in the board where we just need to wiggle this out, and I just don't want to have to take out the whole board. Now, depending on how light you want to be, you can sort of manhandle this. Once again, either use heat or isopropyl alcohol. We're going to lift up on our speaker. We then have this little plastic sort of bracket that holds the mic in, and what I believe is the pressure sensor right here. And there's some foam tape that's sort of holding it on, but that just comes right out. As you see here, we can't just pull it out because of our, we see more water damage. Lovely. We just do the reverse. Now, some of you, because I pulled this out of another iPhone, some of you are probably, if you're ordering a brand new part, you might have to contend with some of these. Like yours might come something like this, where it's all spread out. And if that's the case, just try and fold it as best as you can. And then same thing here. This little thing right here and the orientation, because a screw goes through here. Thanks, Apple. There definitely is. You'll have to fold this 90 degrees and sort of tuck everything in as best as you can. I always try and start with getting the charging port. We want to get this flap and this microphone seated properly. So we might need to come in at an angle. There we go. Very aggravating. Okay. Get it in there. Really? All right. So I guess the trick here is I gotta bend this thing. I had to bend it in place to get the port on. Now I need to bend it back out of place so I can get this screw in. All right, those are in place. If you can sort of snap your flex cables on first, then put our motherboard screws in. All right, we're gonna put on our a couple of standoffs. So there's one that goes here and 3 more that go here, here, and then under here. And then we have a 5th, which goes right here. So it should look something like this: standoff, 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 standoff. Yeah, so we have neat. Let's knock out these 2. All right, I'm backtracking for a sec. I got ahead of myself. Need to put this one in the side. Our Phillips goes up top. This one is for the loudspeaker. We have this lovely little gem. Remember, we have this little hook to get through on the side. Basically just come at it from the side, and it's just gonna go sort of like down. The 2 Phillips go in the upper right on that plate and the lower left, and then there's another screw, which I'm gonna do sort of do a freeze frame of. Sorry, it's blurry. So our Taptic engine, I'm gonna anchor it in loosely. I'm not gonna tighten this down all the way. Now, before you go just cranking these down, make sure that this screw is lined up, or you're gonna have to sort of backtrack on some of your work. We then have this little bracket. The Phillips is on the right. I'm only gonna half screw that in. And the tri-wing is on the left. I can tighten that one, and I can tighten that one. So I trimmed the sort of tabs that were sticking off the side. That way I can do a dry fit. I'm gonna pop my screen on this, make sure that I don't have a 3-minute panic log reboot issue. And if it doesn't, you know, if the port fixed it, which it should, barring I don't have some sort of crazy board problem, then I can proceed with the rest of my repair. So congratulations, we don't have a panic log issue. Hooray! Now I'm still missing quite a few components. Like I need to track down 3 screws. I don't know where these things went. So I'm gonna cut the repair off here, but just a few things that I'll mention to you before you seal up the device. Loose screws have a habit of getting stuck in a handful of places, anywhere with a magnet. So that's your camera, Taptic engine, loudspeaker, or places sticky, like your perimeter gasket. Thanks for watching.